Right lads, welcome to Amsterdam. A long time coming. Obviously, the cliches, everyone knows Amsterdam known for the doobies in the red light district. Yeah, I'm no doobie guru, and I certainly hope I'm no red light district guru. I'm here along the canal. You've got the iconic 4,000 bicycles everywhere, the boats, the flowers, the bridges. Cold but sunny day in Amsterdam. I'm gonna stick to what I know and try to find the best pint around town. Let's go. So among this street of about 4,000 weed shops, I don't know if that's even what you call them, we spot a Guinness sign in the middle of all the action. So outside just says the Irish pub. It's called the Blarney Stone, top tier in terms of cliche Irish pub names. It's recommended a decent bit. We're gonna go in, let's see what the pint is like. First pub, lads. Do you reckon it's an Irish pub? Possibly an Irish pub, I'm not exactly sure. What do you think? I wonder if that's an Irish pub. Well, that's my first pint in Amsterdam, baby. New style glass, you know we're outside of Ireland. Big head, not too many bubbles, but it looks pretty yellow. Sour enough looking, and yeah, that head is a bit too big. Also, temperature doesn't feel too cold, borderline too warm, possibly hence the large head. Too warm, big head, too cold, small head. Sláinte, lads, Amsterdam. Taste, not awful. So not very creamy, but it doesn't taste the worst. Looks like we're gonna have absolutely zero shtick. Definitely been a while since I had a pint outside of Ireland. But we plough on. The big head has kind of settled down. To be fair, there's a lot of micro bubbles, but no big nasty rotten bubbles. I like to think there's a difference between getting a bad pint where the pub just isn't known for Guinness, but it's poured as well as it could be. When it's a really bad pint, it's a pub that doesn't give a shit about the Guinness. They might pour it in one, or they don't give a shit, they don't hold the glass at the right angle. They literally just treat it like any other beer. That's when you know you're in trouble. But any pub that's gonna call itself an Irish pub will at least hopefully know the basics, even though I've been ones that don't. Yeah, like it's fine, I could drink a couple of them. Just no real thickness to it. Even though the head is big, you can just tell. There's a difference between a big head and like a thick, creamy head, and it's not super dense. Yeah, Guinness stuff everywhere. It really give you the vibe of like an old style country pub in Ireland. It's definitely what they're going for. Zero shtick. Could be like America where the regulations say that they have to use a certain cleaning product, which just turns into zero shtick. I mean, I've definitely had worse than that. I've had a whole lot worse. So in terms of the scale, I'm trying to think back like European scale, British scale, Irish scale, the scoreboard. What the fuck is that over there? I think they're murdering someone over there. Scoreboard is all over the place, as we know. I always say, like, is an 8.2 in Netherlands the same as an 8.2 in Dublin? Realistically not. You just have the standard set higher for Dublin. Nearly forgot to mention the pint was 7.20. I kind of knew what to expect last time. I remember being here in Amsterdam 9 years ago. It was the first one of my friends to turn 21, and we came to Amsterdam. And then if you seen my video in Edinburgh last year, Best Guinness around Edinburgh, that was actually the same friend, and we were going to Edinburgh for his 30th because he was the first one to turn 30, and he got the COV and he couldn't come, so we all had to go to Edinburgh without him. So yeah, that was my first time in Amsterdam, and I remember the pints being extortionate then. So yeah, 7.20. I'll probably pay up to €8-9 in the city, I'd say. And here come the Guinea burps. That wasn't too bad. Creamy-ish finish, poured well. Obviously new style glass, but you can't really complain about that once you go outside of Ireland. Yeah, not the worst. Bit of a dodgy aftertaste, but pretty drinkable. I'm gonna just put it into the 6s. 6.0. I would have another 1 or 2, to be honest with you, so 6 out of 10 for the Blarney Stone. I didn't even notice this, but you're probably thinking to yourself, he sat in the right place because he's some bullshitter. Lads, a quick break from the video to bring you a message from our lovely sponsor, Manscaped. Manscaped have been supporting this channel for over 2 years. A lot of these videos wouldn't be possible without the help of Manscaped. We got planes to book, hotels to stay in, pints to be bought. Thanks to Manscaped for sponsoring this trip to Amsterdam. Your best bet, lads, I've said it before and I'll say it again, the Performance Package 4.0. You cannot go wrong. Your balls will thank you. You've got the best razor in the game in the Lawnmower 4.0. It's got the Skin safe technology greatly reduces the chances of nicking those nads. Also the genius of the weed whacker that gets into the ears, into the nostrils. We all know someone, probably someone's lad or uncle who has big dirty hairy nostrils or ears. You go, Jesus, just go at them with the weed whacker. Comes in the perfect little travel bag, the Shed. It's a man's bag. The accessories include the crop preserver, the ball toner, and Manscaped will even throw in a pair of boxers. What more could you want, lads? Go to manscaped.com, use the code PINTS20 to get 20% off plus free shipping. Thank you, Manscaped. Back to the video. O'Reilly's Irish pub. Just in case you didn't get by the O'Reilly's that it was an Irish pub, it's an Irish pub. Toilet review. Pretty clean. Fucking tight old stairs, lads. Jesus Christ. 10-4, Houston, we have a problem. Logo on the phone. Calling super hands.
Pint of Guinness, please. No logo on the phone.
No logo on the phone.
You don't buy into all that one, do you? What the old, ooh, I've got a clover in my phone. I'm so important. No, what you're doing there is you're drinking an advert, aren't you? Hey, shithead. Thank you.
Right.
Right, lads, O'Reilly's. Sláinte. I'd say after the new style all-style glass, the logo in the foam is probably the other most debated thing on this channel. Some people love it. In the words of the lovely lady who served me the pint, Irish girl, in her words she said, I put a little logo on it. I thought it'd be cute. Not my type of cute, I'm afraid. Some people love it. I don't. I follow the super hands mantra. Plus, a bit of a lack of domage. There was actually more domage in the last one. Fairly flat head. Quite a similar pint to the last one in terms of a big head. This one doesn't feel like it's anyway too warm, which the last one possibly might have been. But yeah, Amsterdam, what a spot. Literally such a gorgeous city. Like you could definitely, you're probably thinking, sure, I'd only go to Amsterdam if I want to smoke the dubskins and do the other fucking lark. And like you kind of think it has to be a lads trip, but honestly I would happily bring Mrs. Guru here and not engage in any of the therefore mentioned activities. Just an absolutely stunning city, and I'd say the people here are sick of people being like, when they say I'm from Amsterdam, people are like, yeah, smoking, yeah. It's like, shut the fuck up, man. There's more to Amsterdam than this fucking ganja, even though it's everywhere and it stinks, but not my cup of tea. When I came here that time 9 years ago, as I was telling you, me and my friends, when I tell you we were not the weed smoking type, that would be an understatement. Very much the drinking type, but we were clueless when it came to the ganja. And we rocked into Amsterdam, obviously got a couple of pints in first, then we got brave, went up to the coffee shops, I think they're called, where they sell the weed. And I just remember like 20, 21-year-olds just being like, hey dude, can we get and I'd say the shop lads, the lads working in the shops are so well used to fucking Egypt like that coming in. Get some weed. Can we get a joint? And I think I'm pretty sure you can get them pre-rolled, but we didn't know that, and we definitely would have gotten that if we knew. But we got whatever, we got it in the bag, and then these little kind of cone, it was like a spliff, which like the skin like rolled up already. You had it like that, and you're supposed to kind of drop it in, and it was like 6 of us crowded around this one little joint, dropping the fucking shit everywhere. Couldn't even light the fucking thing. I just remember these two old Dutch lads in the corner just giving us the dirtiest look, like, stick to the pints, lads, yous are clueless. Anyway, I haven't said a single word about the pint apart from the logo on the foam. To be honest, pretty much carbon copy of the last place. The last one had a tiny bit of a better dome and didn't have the logo on the foam. Is that all I can, that's really the only difference I can tell. Like a big, it's funny because the head looks perfect now. It's still that kind of centimetre, 12 millimetre sort of thickness, which is great, but unfortunately at the start it's kind of too thick at the start, but then it's kind of perfect halfway through, so I don't know. $7.40 for this, so 20 cent dearer than the Blarney Stone. Blarney Stone and O'Reilly's. Do you reckon they're Irish bars? Yeah. This is much more of a big open pub. Definitely like somewhat authentic. Like it's got this sort of old style tables and furniture, and you kind of have to take your connoisseur cap off and not just be like, this is obviously some chain Irish bar, blah blah blah. I mean, it possibly is an Irish chain, but yeah, not the way the bar kind of wraps around and stuff is a bit more sort of American. Again, I'd say here I'd drink another one or two. Wouldn't enjoy them too much, but they're grand. A little bit of creamy shtick at the bottom. This one was a tiny bit creamier, to be fair. I did say the last one was pretty watery. I'm gonna bump it up from the last one for creaminess, but I'm gonna have to take off 0.1 for the logo on the foam. I'll go 6.2 on this. Could have been maybe a 6.34 without the logo on the foam, but I have to stick to my bitter ways. Right, just out of O'Reilly's. I honestly cannot. I've said it before about other places, but I feel like I'm on the feckin' Amsterdam tourism board saying this. But lads, Amsterdam is absolutely beautiful. I do not remember it being this nice when I was here 9-10 years ago as a cloudy-brained young fella. Yeah, absolutely fantastic city. Off to the hotel now, we'll check back soon. Right lads, Amsterdam hotel room tour. It's pretty big, so this could take a while. And that's the tour. Oh grand, I couldn't give a shite where I sleep, to be honest. I remember sleeping in I went ultra cheap in Manchester and I stayed in a room that didn't have a window. That was probably just below what I would settle for. But apart from that, I couldn't give a shite once it's clean. But I said that before I saw the toilet. That looks like I'm going into a fucking coal bunker or something. And then, I don't know, is this normal? In the Netherlands, that's the fucking sink, yeah, grand. There's a shower and there's a shitter. So do I just take a shit and a shower at the same time? Showering while I shite? Not sure. I mean, I'm going to shower and the floor is going to be absolutely soaked. And then I just fucking piss and shite on top of it. I don't know, lads. Anyway, check-in done. Get a bit of grub now. I'm back to work. This is my lunch break, lads. I was spending my lunch break checking in. Now I have to go back to work. It's fucking... You think you have a tough job, lads? I have to go back to work now. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're doing your whatever job. It's probably an easy job, whatever you do. I have to go back to work now. Oh, it's just... Right lads, just checked into my 5-star hotel. As you saw, heading to Dan Murphy's pub. Good few pubs that got recommended are going to be left out. There was Molly Malone's and Mulligans, most requested by a good bit. And then there was Blarney Stone, Dan Murphy's, O'Reilly's, Sláinte. A few different places. Some Sláinte probably won't get hit. Probably keep it to 5 maximum, usually before, but I'm feeling cheeky on my holidays. Also, I noticed like it's so quiet and peaceful to walk around Amsterdam because where all those bridges and stuff are, there's no cars, so it's just great. That's a bit fucking better, lads. That's a bit better. Bit of a creamy head in there. Sláinte, lads, this looks a lot better. By far the best looking pint I've gotten today. Creamy looking head. Tiny bit yellow, but probably hard to keep it, the Guinness fresh, like really, really fresh abroad. Same new style glass, what can you do? Perfect size head for me. Not bad though, could be better, but I wouldn't say it's flat headed. No fucking logo on the foam like last time. That does not look bad at all. Sláinte. And it tastes a bit better as well. Thank Christ, because this is a bit out of the way. Not out of the way. This is probably like 15-20 minutes south of most of the other pubs. But I'm glad I came. Very, very smooth looking head, to be fair. Could even have a bit of shtick on this one. That's definitely a step up from what I've had. There's a lot of these kind of, this bar is on the end of a big long list of bars, and then outside the front kind of has seating for all the different bars, but it's all very much designated. And the bars are quite narrow. They're long, but they're narrow. And I walked in I walked into the bar next door thinking it was here, and I said, just like random kind of funky looking lad was like, "Hi, how are you?" And I was like, "All right." Like, I don't know, I was like, "What's this lad's deal?" And I was like, "Can I get a pint?" He goes, "Of Heineken?" I said, "No, Guinness." He goes, "We don't have Guinness." And I was, do you know the way in your mind, you think a million things at once? And I was thinking, have these fucking Instagram followers sent me to some fucking bar as a joke that doesn't even do Guinness? Realised I was in an actual like Heineken bar. A lot of people will probably know Amsterdam is, I don't know, would you say the home of Heineken? They've got a big massive brewery here, you can do a tour and all that. It turns out I was in the wrong building and I came in here and it looked absolutely nothing like an Irish bar as well. Then I came in here, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Bit of fucking shtick and all, so I'm happy enough with this. A bit creamy, taste still a bit funky. I'm pretty happy with that. Definitely a step up to the two ones I had before, big massive heads in them. Oh yeah, decent creamy finish. That deserves to get into the 7s, just about. 7 flat, out of 10. Look at the shtick, lads. Fucking decent. En route to Mulligans, by far the most requested pint in the city. Dan Murphy's was definitely a step up above the last two, and I just realised as I was walking out, pretty sure they don't do food in there. And I've always said that's usually a hugely contributing factor to why a pub would have a really good pint of Guinness. All the love and care goes into the Guinness and not the fucking food. And also the dishwashers and all the food isn't getting mixed up in the glasses and all that shit. So yeah, a step above in Dan Murphy's. I'm expecting another step up now in Mulligans. The most requested pub by far in Amsterdam. Pretty cool building. Let's see, is it a pretty cool pint? I'm expecting big things.
Cash or card, man?
Card, please.
They put the bid in for the place.
You what?
They put the bid in for the place, are you?
Well, I was told it's the best pint in Amsterdam.
There you go. Who am I to deny it?
Yeah. Bigger head than I would have expected. I'd still say Dan Murphy's is the best looking pint I've gotten. Also the guy, shout out to Dara, who was working in Dan Murphy's, told me that your man Sean, who works here, I think the manager or whatever, has been here for like 15 years. I rocked in, I saw a fella there, looks like he's been behind that bar for a few years. I said, "Are you Sean?" He said, "I am indeed." So I have the best man in the house, pour me the pint. They say if the head is below the harp, it's too much, it's like borderline here. I do like a big head because it means a creamy pint, but I'm gonna fucking drink it and see what happens. Could have done with a bit more domage on that as well. Staunch it, lads. It's actually a very different taste off of that than the last one. Like, quite sweet or something. I don't know, you see now the head looks perfect because you've taken a bit off the head. I think that is a bit of an odd taste off of it. There's so much riding on this review because it's the most requested pub by a good bit in Amsterdam. Doesn't quite taste like Guinness. Is that a crazy thing to say? It's far sweeter than a regular Guinness. It's like they've put something into it. Like if I was young and I was weaning onto Guinness, this would be perfect because it nearly tastes like there's like a drop of blackcurrant in it or something. I know it's a crazy thing to say, but it is tasty. Like, it's really tasty and it's really delicious, but it doesn't taste like Guinness. That is a first on this channel. In over 250, 300 reviews, tastes lovely but doesn't taste like Guinness. That makes no sense. I really wish I had someone here with me, and I really wish you through the camera could taste this, because I have no idea how to explain it. It genuinely tastes like there's like the slightest bit of like a fizzy drink or something gone into it, just to sweeten it up. It's like there's sugar in it, which is crazy. And it tastes nice. Like if you said, here's a new product, taste it, it's lovely, and I taste it, but what's that? I wouldn't think it was Guinness. I'd be like, what's that? It's like Smithwick's and Guinness. I don't know what it's like, but it's not. That does not taste like a regular pint of Guinness to me. That's mad. Yeah, I don't know. Unless my taste buds have just fallen to pieces on the walk down here, but that's a bit odd for me. Unless I got the last pint of the keg or slightly strange batch or something, but I know everyone was saying go to Mulligans, and typically the place that is recommended the most has a really great pint. I'm gonna have to say, lads, I don't love that. The initial taste where I was saying I thought it was quite delicious, that's kind of fading off now into like a strange odd sweetness, and I mean it's creamy enough and there's not too many bubbles in the head, but maybe it's just a pint I got. Something strange going on through the tap or something, but that just tastes a bit odd for me. And I'm sure it's like, again, your man Sean behind the bar, I think he's been here 15 years. I'm sure he knows well how to pour a pint, so something to do with how it was poured. There just seems to be something in it. And the way I'm talking, you'd swear I was going to give it like a 2 out of 10. It's more that initially I was like, this is going to be great. It's going to be like maybe mid-7s or something. And now I'm like, can't do it. So it's definitely the creamiest pint I've had, but it's also got a really odd sweetness to it. What the fuck do I give that? 6.8 out of 10. Slightly bizarre turn of events. So one other thing I noticed about Amsterdam, lads, is didn't see a single homeless person sitting on the street, which is obviously a good sign. And that reminds me that twice today the Guinness guru has been extremely humbled in Amsterdam. 2 separate occasions, 2 different lads came up to me. I had the earphones in, they kind of came up to me and I said, oh, here we go, it's got to be probably a chat, Guinness guru, it's going to be a selfie. Do you have 70 cents? Humbled is not the word, but sometimes the ego does get a bit big and it needs to be brought back down to earth. Last pub is behind me, Molly Malone's. Let's go, finish it off in style. Right lads, I'm outside Molly Malone's, the final pub of today. It's on this lovely little canal. Come on Molly Malone's, give me a good one. Second most requested pub in Amsterdam. Right lads, as expected, it's a bit busier in here, bit of a tighter squeeze, so I'm kind of snuggled up against this lovely old Dublin whiskey barrel, but something's just blown my mind. This pint was only €6. Couple of bubbles in the head, I have to be honest, but not a bad little dome, but not really flat enough, but pretty similar to the last pub. Looks quite like the pint I got in Dan Murphy's, so looks-wise, aesthetic-wise, pretty decent. Feels possibly a tiny bit warm, but new style glass. We haven't gotten an old style glass yet today. Obviously, we're not going to in Amsterdam, but sláinte, €6, fucking hell. That's not fucking bad. Not bad at all, lads. And I said to the girl behind the bar, is there a reason? She's probably thinking, fuck off with these questions. I said, is there a reason the pint is only €6? I've been to a couple other bars today, they're all 7+. She said, well, that's been the price for the last 10 years and they're trying to keep the Guinness and the Heineken at the same price. And I said, that is unbelievably commendable because they could easily bring it up to $6.50, $6.80. I still would have been impressed that it was the cheapest, but keeping it at €6, that's absolutely unbelievable. They must have been making that much on it, I don't know. Yeah, that's all right gear. That's all right gear. This pub is, it's nice. It's a little bit like, kind of looks like a bar from a movie set, but not. I don't say that in a bad way. It's just funny. It's very simple and straightforward. You come in, it's just one room. You can kind of see each corner of it, but it's got kind of posts and pillars in the middle. That kind of makes it a little bit more cozy. Kind of exposed brickwork all around the bar, which I like. Yeah, it's got a good vibe to it. Really good vibe. I'm meeting a few people. Yeah, you're meeting a few people after work. I'd like to come for a pint in here. Yeah, that's decent gear. Pretty smooth pint, all right. So like I said, this was the second most recommended pub in Amsterdam. Mulligans was the most recommended by far. A little bit of shtick developing. Decent taste. Fairly creamy. Could be onto a winner here, lads. I love the location of this place as well, right down the canal. It's actually deadly. Very similar to the Pint in Dan Murphy's, I can't lie. Pretty nice. That's pretty fucking creamy, lads. Pretty creamy, pretty tasty. I can't give it any better or any worse than Dan Murphy's. I have to go 7 on the dot as well. I know I always want to be able to say this one place is the best pint of Guinness in a certain city, but I just can't do it. It's pretty much a carbon copy of the pint I got in Dan Murphy's, and I'm pretty happy with it. Not the thickest, but fairly creamy, decent taste, decent shtick. Molly Malone's 7 flat out of 10. Molly Malone's and Dan Murphy's, my 2 best pints in Amsterdam. Right, lads, that is going to do it for Amsterdam. 5 bars. We had the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you're enjoying the videos, you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing, yeah? And hit the like, the big fat thumbs up that's sitting below that video. Support the channel. As always, lads, thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one. Sorry, do you know where the red light district is? The red light district? That way. Nice one, mate. Cheers. Oh, fuck. See you in the next one.